but Coast Mountain continues to not run any buses into the downtown core itself.
So obviously, Ken, still some challenges for you. The system, was it overwhelmed earlier this evening?
No, it was busy, but in fact, you know, we definitely saw a rush of people who wanted to get away from what was happening in the downtown area, and we were able to get them out relatively quickly. There was one point where we did have to shut the Burrard station simply because there were too many people trying to get on the platform at once, and that's not a safe situation. That didn't last very long. We also had an issue with tear gas in and around the Granville station. Right now, the only way into the Granville station is through the Dunsmuir entrance. So that's where we'll direct people, hopefully who've had enough of whatever's happening down there and just want to go home.
And Ken, how long will you run C-Bus and SkyTrain for tonight? Still 2:15?
It's still 2:15, that's correct.
Okay. Ken, thank you so much for checking in with us. The good news is people can get home. The SkyTrain is open. We are running, they're running SkyTrains out of the city. No buses. A C-Bus also taking people back to the North Shore, not bringing anybody in.
All right. We've seen several injuries as part of this violence in downtown Vancouver tonight, and we are getting reports, and we just want to say that these are unconfirmed, but apparently somebody may have fallen from one of the viaducts earlier this evening. Here's a witness report.
We were walking back, just getting out, or going to go to the SkyTrain, and no one was there, and or like it was a huge lineup come up here, and I heard like a scream and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, we looked down, the guy fell, bleeding from the mouth. It was messed up. Fell from like just right up there, in between the gap. I heard he thought there like the gap was still small along the whole thing. Turns out it wasn't, and he went to go jump across and didn't make it and fell down.
And again, an eyewitness account, again, unconfirmed at this point. We'll check with VPD, of course, on that.
Absolutely. Again, back to live shots from Chopper 9. You see the mounted police there. They've now formed their line. The riot police have now moved in closer. We were seeing some pretty bold moves earlier from a few people that were actually moving towards the police. They had taken the fence from the construction that's happening at Robson Square there, using it as some sort of a shield and walking towards the police that are obviously armed not only with guns, but, you know, they have their pepper spray and some pretty fierce police dogs, too.
And as we look at these live shots from CTV's Chopper 9, as police try to get control of what's left of this unruly, violent crowd, just quickly recapping what's happened here in the last 4 hours or so. The hockey game ended, and it wasn't long after that that things started to get out of control. Started with the people throwing stuff at the big screen on Georgia Street, rendering it unwatchable. Fights broke out, porta potties were flipped over, and then it got crazy with the fires starting in the cars. We saw smashed windows. We've seen looting throughout the evening. A real black mark for our city tonight.
Absolutely, and you know, it's, as you know, we were all, like every Canuck fan in the city, we were hoping for a different outcome. Yeah. And we were making plans here at the station for possibly, you know, going on air in this celebration broadcast after, you know, the Canucks hoisted the cup and all that. And I know I speak for you when I say we weren't planning on doing this until midnight tonight.
All right. Let's go to some videotape that's just come in. People being treated for this pepper spray, tear gas component, if you will. This is the tear gas pepper spray station they've set up there, and they're seeing quite a few folks tonight, obviously, and we have a clip from one of the St. Paul spokespeople.
We're seeing, you know, we've easily seen 100+ people just come, be treated for tear gas and gone on their way. We've also seen some stabbing incidents. I can't tell you how many, but I'd say there's been a couple. And we've also just seen some fractures and some injuries from just the activities that are happening in the street.
And again, just down the street from us here, that activity is happening. Rob Brown is a block away. St. Paul's is a block and a half away. So some pretty intense stuff happening around us.
We've seen these pockets of violence throughout the city tonight. All started, of course, between Homer and Hamilton on Georgia Street, and then these crowds started migrating. They ended up all over the place. Outside Sears, smashing windows, BMO, London drugs, you name it, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in damage, and a big hit on our reputation as well.
This is the live shot from Chopper 9. So again, a couple of fires still burning. This is by Robson Square, just down the street from us. And we are going to go live back to Rob Brown. Rob, you are right outside our building now. You're inching your way closer to us. I hope the crowds aren't.
Yeah, they are actually. They're coming where they are. Jazz, you're hot right now. Trying to get a fix on. They are. So yeah, we are basically
just having a bit of an issue with Rob's feed right now. We're going to rectify that, but we'll go back up to our live shot from CTV's Chopper 9. As Rob said, the crowd's starting to migrate farther west down Robson Street as police appeared to be at one point trying to push them to the north, but obviously some of these people are continuing westward.
Okay, Rob, we lost you for a second there, but your picture just went out. So I think we have you back now.
Yeah, the perils of modern technology. We are a half block west of Hornby on Robson Street, and it looks not far.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't. We can hear you, Rob, but we're having some issues with your camera. So just talk us through what you're seeing.
Well, okay, we can't hear him at this point as well. We're going to try to get that rectified, but
Okay.
pretty incredible pictures he's been providing us in high definition as he wanders throughout the city tonight.
Okay, so let's go back and start at the beginning with some of the tape that we have to show you of exactly what happened. This is very, very early on. This is seconds after the game ended. We watched that stuffed bear being lit on fire, and then this was the first vehicle to go over right at Georgia and Homer. It was turned over, guys jumping on it, posing on it. You can see that they have a funnel that they pour their booze into and right into their mouth, and then there we go with a fire that has been started.
Yeah, there were numerous rubbish and car fires. You see people adding fuel to the fire there, and hey, let's flip a truck. So that's what these jokers did, and they succeeded eventually, and that one was set on fire as well. This is, of course, just after the game ended, between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. This shot just outside the main post office, one of the vehicles on fire there. And if we go back even just a little earlier, we mentioned the screen that people were watching the game on Georgia Street. Look at them hurling stuff at the big screen just seconds before the Boston Bruins were about to claim the Stanley Cup. And then the fireworks went off, and some people in the crowd started to get out of control. There was lots of fighting, a lot of people injured in those fights. In this same area, the porta potties being flipped over.
And there were numerous cars lit on fire tonight. I mean, to the point where we lost count. This Hummer was lit on fire. We saw a BMW lit on fire. Somebody being arrested here. BMW lit on fire just outside of the bay on Seymour Street. Then another vehicle where this guy was arrested, a car overturned right beside him. There's a Hummer that's been smashed in, and in behind you can see another vehicle. 2 police vehicles on fire. I believe this was over by the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. You can see, I recognize that fencing from the parking lot by the Queenie. Where Wicked was tonight, and people were told, they were in lockdown basically, told not to leave the theater, stay inside, and it just continued on from there.
And we have, over the course of the evening, heard numerous reports of injuries from fights, from stabbings, of course, from people getting trampled. One of the photographers that we know was punched in the face at one point earlier in this evening. And, you know, I think the mayor perhaps summed it up best by saying that this was the result of the action of a small group of hooligans, of yahoos, who decided, no matter what the result of the game, that they would just behave like this. And this was some of the stuff we started seeing.
Here's what we saw a lot of tonight. Fist fight after fist fight. And, you know, guys just picking fights, smashing windows. We saw it